So what do we have here? A 12-inch iBook G4. Now, I'm gonna hide it beneath its original bag just to tell you something. Every time my life had an iBook inside of it, or every time I came across an iBook in my way crossed, there were always problems. So, some people might say these computers are rock solid, but I'm not gonna say that. They're really not. So yeah, here it is. Oh yes. So how did I actually, if I'm not the biggest fan of these things, how did I get hold of this one? Well, I saw this ad online for $50, and the guy needed to get rid of it really fast. So because of that, and because of $50 is just too much, I talked him down to 35 plus the bag and plus a power adapter. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. Well, it didn't have any operating system on it installed, but he said it was working fine. And I thought, you know what, for 35 euros, even if it's broken or has a dead hard drive or something, that would be okay. So in the end, he decided to be completely functional. Its shape is actually not too bad. There's only one crack here, and the mouse clicker is kind of mashed, and this. I mean, the keyboard is completely intact, and it doesn't even look that worn, but it's yellow. What the hell? I mean, I'm no expert at telling this, but I think this has been swapped out for whatever reason. And the keyboard, the replacement keyboard, was like in the sun like its entire life until it was like swapped into this machine. So yeah, that could be the case, because the rest of the computer is actually quite white. You know, it's not yellowed. I gave it a good clean. This was pretty dusty when it came, but I mean it looks pretty good. And this keyboard is so yellow, so I don't know. There's something wrong there. Now, a little bit of history before we start this thing up. I used to own 2 iBooks. One, now both of them are broken, by the way. So the first one was a G3, which was not my fault. I had this famous graphic chip problem where the graphic chip would, because it's just so old and over time, it would just kind of, I don't know, rise from the main board, so it would come loose. And there was only one fix. If you don't want to swap out the main board, you have to put a coin against the chip, and that did temporarily work, but it went just back to the old scheme, so I just smashed it. Maybe not the smartest thing, but I mean, this thing cost me so much nerves. So yeah, but the second one, I was smarter. The second one was a 14-inch G4, top of the line, maxed out, and it broke the power switch. And it's actually recorded on YouTube, and you can watch it right now. That was so frustrating. I had the 14-inch beautiful shape, everything working, and then I break it. Oh damn. So that's why I actually told myself to never take this apart if it is not completely incredibly necessary. I'm not gonna touch the inside of it. I upgraded RAM from its, I think it had 256 megabytes or something, but I'm not sure about that, to its maximum 1.25 gigs. And I swapped in the AirPort card. And thankfully that's I saved from the old G4, which I sold. Yeah, I sold it. Did not smash it and throw it away. I sold it, but only for $20. So, I mean, yeah. $20. So I only kind of paid $15 for this because I got back 20 from the old one. So I got a working iBook again, and you know the drill. So let's plug in the power, because this battery is not gonna charge, like hold any charge at all. So let me just quickly power is on. Shit, I don't really have that much time anymore, so come on, hurry up. Oh yeah, the speakers work. Not so on my G3 back then. Now, because I didn't want to go through the hassle of like installing Leopard again and running all these updates again and everything, I just decided I'd clone. As you can see, there's Ubuntu. Yeah, I'm not gonna boot into that yet. I'm gonna clone the entire disk of an old image of the PowerBook G4 on here. So I once made a complete image of the whole hard disk, so that's why it has Linux on there, and I cloned it onto this machine using target disk mode, and it worked beautifully, just the way it should work. Took forever and ever, but damn, it was so easy. And now it runs Leopard, really bloated old install, and some sort of Linux. We'll check that out later. I don't even know anymore. Yeah, the boot time is actually quite okay for, you know, respecting what it is. You can tell that this is an old image from like my old tasteless icons there. I did that like when I discovered, oh, in OS X it's so easy and awesome to change icons. And that's why I did it. Okay, so just go about the Mac. And it's a 1.07 gigahertz G4, and it's got 1.25 gigabytes of RAM. So it's not really tearing down any walls in terms of performance, but its weakest point, in my opinion, is the graphics. This is this Radeon 9200 mobile, 32 megabytes of RAM. Yeah, this isn't really doing any good, but I mean, if you would really use this, you would have to use Tiger. It's just, there's no other way. The only like way you can get maybe a better performance out of it on Leopard is to be as stupid as me and swap an SSD in it. For whatever reason you want to do that on the Power PC. But I did it because I don't know. I'm kind of a fan of these old computers, and I like to keep them going as long as possible. But here the graphic performance is really not really that great. So let's just start up Firefox. Kept the Wi-Fi, so I mean it's a fully functional machine. I mean, there's nothing that really works. Damn. There's nothing that really doesn't work. Wi-Fi works, and speakers work, and mouse works. I mean, there are no fancy touch controls or anything. So, there we go. It works. And it doesn't support two-finger scrolling or anything. So that's why I prefer using a mouse with this instead of the trackpad, which is yeah, not really awesome. But yeah, screen for how old it is does actually look pretty good. This machine is from 2004, and the screen is, you know, this is no LED. This is like a old ass LCD, and it looks pretty good, pretty bright. It could really be that this machine hasn't really been used all that much or heavily. You can really tell that from it having such a nice body here. I mean, this isn't worn out. If you would use that all the time, you know, you would put your palm right here and it would be like all torn up here. The corners would be cracked or whatever. There's only this crack here, and and the latch isn't really that worn out, so had a good owner, I tell that. So its resolution is, of course, not really a retina display, 1024 by 768, but on a screen like that, in this size, 12 inches, I mean, it doesn't really matter for me. Yeah, if I had to use that a daily, I mean, sure, the scaling would be a problem, but like all these applications, they work pretty good on a screen like this, believe it or not. It's loading. Come on. Oh, what? I don't know what it's loading here. It's just Office. I just want to quickly show you the disk utility. Here it is. Oh, it's already in the dock because of the icon. Okay, so man, this is the disk utility. I want to have this disk utility back. In El Capitan and Sierra, it's terrible. I hate it. This is what I mean. This is awesome. So we have an 80 gig hard drive and a partition of 37.3 gigabytes for Mac OS X. So because we all know Mac OS X and Mac OS X is boring and stuff, we'll boot into Linux. Oh yeah. I'm like really trying to push it with Linux on PowerPC. I'm aware that it's kind of hard and difficult and frustrating and yeah, not really the best way to go. But that's what makes it so interesting. I mean, I have so many PowerPCs. I know Mac OS X inside out. I really do. So it's kind of fun to experiment on these slower computers. You're also learning quite a lot because stuff on here does never really work out of the box. So we run Xubuntu here. 1204, yeah, I can tell you that this is an old version. Found it out! Turns out I have like a really standard password on all of my computers I never really use that much. Okay, so wait, hold on a second. This isn't okay. Okay, oh yeah, okay. We have Xubuntu running here, XFCE. I don't know what version of XFCE this is. Must be an old ass version. It doesn't really look like it has been touched at all. Oh yeah, no, I don't want to upgrade to Ubuntu 14. Thank you. I mean, if that would still run on here, awesome. But I mean, theoretically it does, but that's more than theoretically. Okay, so do we have anything interesting here? No, we do not. This is just a bare bones install. There are 32 updates, so yeah. Maybe we find a song because I want to know if the speakers work on Linux. That's always a little tricky thing. You get this like 100% working. I mean, just the fact that it boots up that like this, you know, it actually amazes me. So, yeah, this is the G4. Might actually, I mean, I have a running Linux on here, so never touch a running system, you know, but we'll actually try to get it working. Oh yeah, and also the battery indicator does work, so that's also a common issue that these computers have on Linux. So yeah, iBook G4 does the sleep work. See that? Don't think so. Never works. So this is the iBook G4. I never thought I'd get one of these again because they're so easy to break and unreliable and have so many issues and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. They look great. They actually feel quite good. Not like the aluminum, of course, but still. So yeah, this is the G4. Sleep doesn't work. Oh, what surprise. Oh, what the fuck is this? Screensaver or what? This looks so cool. I think it's supposed to be smooth and fast, but still looks pretty good. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see ya.